G'day mates, welcome back to Pharaoh. So here we are, we're ready to go into, I believe, the 23rd mission, and we're going to be doing the peaceful mission this time. So it'll be Baki of the Golden Age. So last time, just in case you weren't aware, we did Blxz, which was to invade Palestine. This time, straight into Baki down south.
With the Hyksos successfully expelled from our country, our land is ripe for rebirth. A new kingdom that outshines past glory. Most noble Pharaoh, Baki is an ideal place to begin this new kingdom. We can use the large amount of gold found there to fund your new vision of Egypt. While Egypt is on the brink of greatness, a few nagging problems remain. Many of Egypt's cities are still recovering from the disruptions caused by the Hyksos and may need Pharaoh's help. In other regions, Egypt's old enemies still attack us, and a new enemy, the Sea People, has been raiding our northern coast. You must be prepared to defend other Egyptian cities from our foes, both old and new. As Egypt grows in stature, many cities are willing to engage in trade. Some of these cities are so familiar with our ways and in awe of your power that they consider themselves Egyptian, while others are foreign to us and are trading with us for the first time. For the glory of Egypt, take advantage of all these relationships to provide your people with all the goods they desire. To usher in the new era, your royal architects crave the opportunity to build 2 pyramids and a stately mausoleum for you, O Pharaoh. These will surely reflect the wealth and grandeur you have brought to Egypt.
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is, holy shit, look at that population requirement. And again, my cat starts making noise in the background as soon as I begin talking. But look at that bloody population requirement, not to mention a prosperity of 70. So we're definitely going to need, what do you call those things, manors or villas or whatever, later on. And a culture rating of 70 is going to be really, really shit. I reckon we're going to have a hell of a lot of people going. But by the sounds of things, we've got a lot of gold to keep us going. So let's dive into the city and have a quick peek at what we've got. First up, I can see our food source will be at least partially antelope. A tiny bit of farmland. Well, this is actually completely useless farmland. But there is it's a fair bit of, how much have we got here? Figs, okay, it's the only food source, at least farm source. There's a fair bit of farmland here. And that's reasonably sufficient, I would think, for, I don't know, about 10,000 people. But there's a fair bit of farmland here. Definitely something we can do with that. Where 7,000 Devons isn't a lot to start with. Is that the only gold source on the map? Gold and copper. And gemstones. Okay, so we can do quite a lot of things. Let's see. Yeah, you can get a little bit. I hope there's more somewhere else on the map, because that is not what I would call a lot. And unfortunately, a lot of this thing's bloody arid, which is really unfortunate. Because, 10,000 people might be a little bit difficult here. There's a whole bunch of gold down here. Might be... that might be where I end up doing it. Who knows? Who knows exactly how I'm going to approach this one. Oh, and there's more gold down here. Okay, that might be... Geez, there's a lot of different ways of approaching this, but... I think that one's the better one to go for, actually. This might be where I start. Let's have a quick peek at what other raw resources we've got. So clay we don't have barley and we don't have flax. So we're going to have to import those, which is going to be a little bit difficult. We can make jewelry. Sandstone we can quarry, which is going to be great for our mausoleum. That'll make things much easier to just smash it out really quickly. Small and medium mud brick. Again, we can't grow grain. So we're going to have to import clay we're going to have to import straw and all that stuff as well. There is military stuff, no doubt. We're going to have to send off dispatches to the other people. And okay, we can choose who we'd like to honor. It looks like there's going to be 4 of them. So we have Osiris, Ra, Ptah, and Set. And of course, Ra is our patron. But we can throw down a temple complex to any one of the 4, which is very useful. Holy shit, 22 chariots. And there's no wood on this, so we're going to have to import a lot of stuff. This is going to be a very, very expensive mission. You can see why this one is very nearly the end of the game. Well, I'm going to, actually, before we go, let's have a quick peek at trading goods. Puenat will sell us incense as per normal. Abu will buy... Sell a little bit of pottery, I suppose, but not much there. They'll sell us the flax that we need, though, and the straw for bricks. Wast is pretty much the same as they always do. They sell some stuff to us. And Itiatawe. Actually, where can we get timber? Not sure at all. Probably Byblos? Kadesh, maybe. Okay, it comes from Kadesh. It's a water trade route. I'm going to have to... Oh, there you go, jewelry. So we might be able to... Worthwhile stocking up a lot of gems and converting those into jewelry. I think it's probably a good way of doing it. Yeah, gems look like a pretty easy export, as well as copper in the early part. So I'm going to poke around with this for a little while. I'm going to figure out exactly how I'm going to approach this, and then I'll be back when something interesting happens. Alrighty mates, this is how we're going to start. We've got 2 potential blocks here for the future. These have enough space between them to just basically have a little bit of garden and meld in together. So it's a solid block, no gap in between them. I'm going to head over here. I'm going to start, because everything's pretty much via water trade route, so I can throw a dock here, or wherever I want to throw a bloody dock, and then I can mine this here for gemstones. I had thought about looking at the gold here, but it's just there's not enough gold there. So what I can do though is get probably sandstone as well at a later date, but I can get gemstones here, and that'll allow us to make jewelry and export gems on the spot here. Set up a big industry, maybe not the spawning grounds, maybe over here, in which case the dock will be over here somewhere as well, and I can figure that one out fairly quickly. And of course, the third little area down here is at the bottom. I'm going to essentially allow me to set up a gold mining operation. I can throw the, what are we going to do? City Palace, wherever the hell I want right there if I was really keen. But probably, here somewhere. And that'll allow me to mine the crap out of this gold here. And I've also got some farmland. I'm maybe ever so slightly too much that way, and I want it to move it down here a little bit. That is probably something I'm going to have to look at sooner rather than later. Let's have a quick check of how much food we can... Oh yeah, geez, I'm way overshot. Let's stuff that one up big time. So I'm going to have to move this block down here, I reckon, and then to still get that gold in a timely fashion. So I'm going to head on to that, and I'll be back when things start ticking over. Okay, this is what we've got set up so far. The gem mines are going, and I'm going to stockpile them and then shoot them off to... Who buys gems again? These guys here. It's 1,230 Debons. Now, I may have shot myself in the foot a little bit here because I also want to get some gold mining down. Now, I may have diversified too much here, but the City Palace is 1,440 Debons, which is pretty much most of what I've got left. And then a couple of gold mines are pretty expensive. You have a look at them, they're 300 Debons each. So that's debt there straight away for the first time. And that's even without opening up the trade route to Rawati here. So not sure what I can do here. Not really sure how I'm going to approach this one. Debt is a foregone conclusion here. But I think I need to dive into debt early in order to make some real bank later on. And there we go, out of money. We are well and truly out of cash. I wonder if I can get a road around here. Yeah, I think I can, in which case I'm going to go even deeper into debt. And throw a... should I get a couple of gold mines there? I can get 2 there, I think, and that will allow me to... There we go, and that brings us right around, all the way down here. Yeah, we are so far in debt here. I am not really something I would like to... something I would not like to keep doing. So we've spent all our emergency funds as well. This is going to be pretty tight, I reckon. We're going to have to try and bite the bullet and do the best we can to stave off any spending for the near future. That pretty much means we're not going to have a military for the foreseeable future. I need to make sure I get my cash well and truly under control, because these gems, as soon as we've got a bit of a stockpile building up, I'm going to dump the cash into Rawati and start exporting all the gems I can. Okay, here we go. I'm going to throw down some housing because we desperately need the workers, and that is going to send us into debt. So with that, we're going to then go all the way into debt, go as far deep in as we can, and begin basically spending all our cash. But with that, we're going to hopefully actually start getting some real bank rolling here. We've got the gems exporting now. That will, thank you very much. So we're 1600 in the hole. Now these gems should hopefully, how much do they make? I may have overcapitalized here slightly. Gems they only make 92 each. That's not too bad. That's 800 Devons we've got there waiting. And if we get some more people in, we should be doing much, much better in the near future. Ooh, shit, I just realized gods are going to be pissed as hell. I may have stuffed this mission up. Let's see if we can get this back under control. And there we go. Cash is back in the positive again and shooting upwards. It's only been, what, half a year or so. Looks like we've got a fair few people moved in. We're approaching the 1,000 population mark. I did end up populating this area here. Oh, Jesus. Okay, we need a lot of gems. That's, it's not good. I mean, it's good that we've at least got the... We've got the area set up, the industry set up. The problem, of course, is that we really are struggling with cash a little bit. I'd like to... Oh, fuck me. This is going to be a very tight one. I think we're going to suffer quite badly here. Well, there you go. Those gems built up very, very quickly. We can actually begin exporting them in because I need the cash. I've come down. I didn't quite duck into debt, but I've been trying to build things as much as possible. I don't think we're going to get Ra on side. He's going to probably curse our trading partners or something similar in the near future, which is a bit of a problem. No problems. At least we can begin exporting this stuff again. That is the least we can do. Okay, given that we had a fair bit of unemployment and enough cash to keep us going, I've set up a hell of a big copper thing here. Now this copper area, throw a storage yard there I suppose. This is going to store all the copper we can make. I'm going to make a couple of weapons here as well. Let's see if I can... Where are weapons? They're the only item I think that is not directly underneath their thing. So for example, you know, barley's above beer, clay's above bricks and pottery. Weapons are just all up here on their lonesome. But either way, we got 1/4 weapons. We're going to make a couple of weapons in the near future, and that'll allow us to get our military ticking over. And so with that, we'll have the three, or the basic pillars, what we need. We'll have the military force, we'll have the profit-making industry, and we'll have the population to staff all of that. Food, of course, will come later. Alrighty, a couple of 1,000 Devons dumped down. We've got ourselves the beginnings of a military. We've got no weapons stored in here just yet, but here they go. There's the first load of weapons coming up. That'll allow us to have a bit of a backlog just in case. And the copper, of course, I forgot to do it before that boat arrived, but the copper, of course, can be exported to the exact same trade route off to Rawati. So they will pay us a lot of money for our copper. 185 we get for copper versus 92 for gems. Now, luxury goods is another export. We can do 150, and I think that is what we're going to move into, if I can find a buyer for them. Rawati doesn't buy it. That's a problem. You will buy it, though, and you're a different person, so could be worthwhile. Well, there's only one person that'll buy it. Still, I think a supply of luxury goods wouldn't hurt, because they are a pretty valuable export. Nobody else will buy them, though. You know what, I may as well do it. I've got the gems sitting around here, and it looks like I am beginning to outstrip how much they can buy in 1 year. So I reckon if I can get little luxury goods, what do you call it, industry, factory things set up here, we will be in a much better position. Okay, this is interesting. We had a request for troops. We've got 13 months to send troops off. We have 2 infantry soldiers, so not very much. Alright, I think our best option here is to throw down some... How are we going to do this? I'm going to throw down an archer fort. I'm going to put this over, I don't know, just put you somewhere I can fit you in that I can... May as well just put you there for now. That means in the downtime, there's no weapons in here. Currently there are weapons, but in the downtime it'll still be able to pump out archers as required. So we'll still have a force of at least something ready to send off in 13 months. Hopefully we can get something made up to... How big is this? It's only a small force. It's not too bad. We do need to do our best to try and protect Gaza. Okay, and with that, our industry is basically set up. I don't envision anything else in the near future. So we're basically set up. We've got all the money we're going to make. We can export, once I open up the trade route, we can export jewelry, which is being pumped out here. That'll be stored down there. Actually, do we have enough people? We do. We have exactly equal, although that will change, no doubt, very shortly. So we have the exact amount of people. Our money from jewelry, we have our money from gems, although I think we're tapping most of those gem mines. What is it, 2-to-1 ratio? So 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, we're basically tapping 4 or 5 of those. So it's only sort of 2 or 3 that are actually producing gems for export. I may need to rebalance this a little bit later, depending on how the exports go. But copper as well, we can export with a small supply of weapons as well, and our military will be good to send off in another couple of months, I think. And with that, what else are we going to need? We're basically done. With that, I think it's time to start building the city. So we're at 10,000 people we're going to need. We're at 14% of the way, and we've already got a fairly functional city. I think I'm not going to do too much more up here. I'll probably throw down a couple more little, maybe some hunting lodges and stuff later. I think down here is also pretty good, so it's time that we put a little bit of love into these blocks here. This is going to be our next, I suppose, port of expansion. Okay, with 1 month left to go, we have to send off what we've got. We're going to send off 16 infantry, so a full thing of infantry, but only 6 archers. We're going to have to, we've got no choice no matter, we will send them off. Now, ooh, bit of a plague, that's a pain in the ass. Now, to basically keep our dude busy, we're going to have to throw down another fort. I reckon infantry and archers will be the way to do it. And while I'm at it, I'm actually going to... How am I going to do this? I'm going to link you up. And I'm going to link you up as well. Like that. It shouldn't stuff anything up. So that will allow me to actually throw forts down on this side from here on out. I'm going to throw them out probably out in the middle of nowhere, I think. Sort of get a little bit of space out. And I'll throw down an additional... While I've got the cash, 1 infantry and 1 archer out here. Now that will allow me to basically keep on pumping stuff out while those other guys are out of the city. Keep this recruiter going at full speed, because you never ever know when something bigger and badder is going to come along. Well, there you go, heroes returned. We actually won the battle, and we didn't lose that many people, all things considered. Yeah, things are looking pretty good, I would have to say. How much did we produce over here? Almost nothing. Okay, that's probably because the connection is still not done yet. So what you can see here, I'm working on getting our hunting stuff set over here. I need to stop these plagues that are coming through, so... how am I going to do this? I think I'll just throw some hunting lodges right here. And that should be more than sufficient to keep this entire side fully fed. Okay, this is out of the blue a little bit. Well, I suppose it's not entirely unexpected considering that we had a gem request before. 1,000 luxury goods. Thankfully, we have 2,000 of them sitting there. And, oh, okay, that's interesting. And a request for Gaza that hadn't quite popped up just yet. But there we go, we can send that off as well. I expect it to be pretty much the same thing. Throw that down there. Expect it to be pretty much the same thing. Be able to win it with just whatever we've got on hand. You can see here I'm taking my time to just beautify the ever-living crap out of this area. I am just loving the look of this. 2,000 residents is actually a problem because, yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. We've got enough unemployment for our next expansion. But I've been taking some time to make this place look absolutely stunningly beautiful because I can. Okay, this one is a little bit out of the blue. 2,400 game meat. Oh, this one's one. I forgot about that one. We should have enough. Yeah, loads of that. Look at infantry. I'll just dispatch you guys off. You can take care of it. Now, of course, the game meat is the problem, so I think we're going to have to... This is a bit of a worry. I really haven't got enough game meat being produced here, but I'm going to have to stockpile it for the time being, as well as... you guys are not going to take any of it. You're going to send it straight back, empty it out into the storage yards. That'll allow us to get the game meat, I think, quick enough. Why are you guys not hunting nearby? Be a problem. Yeah, there we go. Conquered Gaza. Let's have a quick peek at what we've taken. Nothing. Just another little Egyptian city. Okay. Maybe we can trade with them at a later date. Unemployment's at 12%, which is pretty solid considering I'm about to feed this little bunch of people here. I probably don't need to, but I think I will use this opportunity to begin expanding. Why are you shopping? Why is this lady shopping from this bazaar down here? This granary down here. I'm reconsidering this link that I've got here. I'm beginning to think that it is a mistake, especially considering there's a bloody crocodile there. So, how are we going to do this one? How are we going to do this? I may actually put my entire military on this island here. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I hate to do it because it is a lot of weapons. Gonski down the drain. Element of prediction, whatever. We're going to throw the military stuff over here. So I'm going to throw down... See if I can fit you in comfortably. Yeah, 1, 2 infantry forts and 2 more archer forts should be sufficient. Okay, this is very interesting. They're going to take a lot of gems from us, an absolute metric fuck ton of gems, 64,000 or 6,400 gems, 64 batches of them within 5 months. We could pay that, but it is extortion, so I'm inclined to actually reject that. What we're going to do instead is we're going to go to the world map and we're going to find some timber. Where am I going to get timber? You're going to sell me timber, fairly expensive, and it is an expensive import as well. But we're going to import up to, say, 800 pieces of timber. Now, what I think we can do here is... how are we going to do this one? I'm going to throw a storage yard right here. Now, you're going to accept timber for the time being. Let's just say, you know, whatever. Take it all for now. It really doesn't bother me. Now, we're going to throw down a shipwright. Far out. Where can I fit the shipwright? Bugger. We're not going to be able to defeat them, I don't think. We're going to have to put the shipwright over here, in which case I'm going to cancel you and I'm going to try this a different way. I'm going to throw a storage yard here for timber. I wish you guys would stop. Have you lost employment yet? No, you still haven't lost employment just yet. That'll disappear in time. We're going to throw a shipwright right here and we're going to throw a dock right there. Now what this will allow us to do is actually import... I've probably done this the wrong way. What I'm trying to do, I'm sort of thinking on the fly here a little bit. What this will allow us to do is actually import... let me just rethink this. I'm not very good at talking and thinking at the same time. This allows us to import the timber. They should go to this area here. And that'll allow us to build some transport ships. So I can move my military over to this side of the river. Because no doubt this is where they're going to attack in a couple of months when they do inevitably actually come in and try and rip us a new one. So I can throw the timber here. You can accept timber. And of course now what will happen is the docks that can sell timber will go here, the boats, and sell it off there. And the ones that can buy and sell everything else will go over here. That should allow us to have total control of what we're doing. Okay, I finally got the food situation sorted out and stabilized. For some reason, they were just dicking around going across back and forth over here and, you know, the getting warehouses. This one trying to source food from over here and so on and so forth. Okay, excellent. We can trade with Tyre now for some reason, despite them attempting to extort us. Kind of weird, I guess, but okay, cool. No doubt they will come up. Let's have a quick look here. Yeah, we did fail that one. Deliberately ignore it. So we had 2 years to prepare. What we've got now, if I can learn to talk my own language here. What we've got is we've got some transport set up. We've got 3 transports. Should be more than sufficient to ferry all the troops over to this side as required. I really don't want this connection going on because it's stuffing up with the food here. So while having these guys have access to all this copper and weapons over here, I can get that recruiter to just do all the work and I can ferry them across as required. Now, of course, immigrants can still go across here, but of course the food issue is not a problem. This is also actually making them hunt the antelope right here. For some reason, they were running all the way down here. I don't know what the hell was going on, but things are much better sorted now. Geez, that is a hell of a request. I don't think I've ever seen a request for that much copper before. Now, we don't really have that at the moment. That is the problem. So, I'm going to have to throw down another copper yard. Simply because, okay, there's something that I can't build it there. Throw down another copper yard just there that'll allow me to... Where are we? Here we go. Accept all the copper we need. We can send that one off very quickly. Okay, we're working on the monument push at the moment. So down here you can see we have quite a hefty little sandstone production area. I don't think we mine sandstone very often in this entire game. It's been an option a few times, but we've very rarely actually done it. But here we are, we're mining out this pink rock. We should have enough storage here, and if not I can throw a couple more down there that allow us to get our mausoleum under construction. Up here I'm working on the medium mud brick pyramid. I can throw the small brick pyramid over here somewhere, but what I'd like to do is actually get the mausoleum probably right there, or maybe even move it over one more just to get things done, and that'll get me the small one, the big one, and this thing here attached to these main little housing blocks there. I reckon that will be beautiful. Other options of course would put it down here, and I may actually put the small one down here somewhere, but I do quite like the idea of having a big sort of monument central area right here in the center, and it'll allow me to possibly build little housing blocks all around it, go right around the sort of southern side here. I think that is what I'm going to end up doing as we go on. Now over here you can see I'm importing the limestone. There's only a certain amount we can bring in per year, so having extra storage will just allow me to sort of lead the construction a little bit, get maybe a couple of years worth loaded up before we begin constructing the two big monuments that require limestone. And of course over here we have ourselves a little bit of a brickworks. There's definitely a lot more that I could put in here, and I think I'm going to move these 4 work camps somewhere over here, and just to throw in a couple more brickworks. But we've got a little bit of pottery ticking in as well. Nowhere near enough, but it may allow me to, may allow me to evolve one of these in the near future if I need a greater workforce. Okay, troops required over at Gaza. Again, let's have a quick peek at why this could be. I think it could be because we failed that extortion demand, in which case they may not actually attack me here, which is very, very good news. Are they attacking me here at all? No, Kingdom Standing has climbed because I refused to attack them. So that's what I think this one is. So we're unlikely to actually be attacked here. So let's have a quick peek. We require just a small force. So in that case, I think what we can do is send off... how about we send off 3 things of infantry for the time being. I'm going to send you guys off, dispatch you for now. And what I can do is actually slowly begin to convert over to chariots. I think if I can get some chariots based on this main island, that may be a better solution than what we've currently got here. Because we are running out of space, and if I ever want to evolve this housing, it's going to be an absolute shit fight trying to get industry put in here. Well, there we go. Already requesting 24 blocks of sandstone. We have absolute shit tons of it pouring in. It's going to delay our monument ever so slightly, but probably no more than a year maximum. And the heroes have returned. Very, very nice. I'm actually in the process now of decommissioning these forts. Employees needed, that is a bit of a problem, but I have evolved these guys up. But I'm in the process of decommissioning these forts over here. I've removed the recruiter. I don't think we're going to be using these weapons too much in the future. Gradually I will just fade these guys out. We're over here mass producing chariots as fast as they can ship the... Oh, excellent. As fast as they can ship the wood, we are producing chariots, which unfortunately doesn't seem to be very bloody fast. No problem though, we are getting there gradually. Got enough chariots, and the forts over here, I think I'm going to just line them all up, and that'll give us the good solid force that we require. Okay, I'm back after a brief crash. I don't know exactly what caused it. I was just in the process of cleaning up the fire rubble here. Obviously had forgotten to throw down these 2 important buildings. But I don't know what caused it. I haven't lost too much. What has happened? Okay, so Tyre has been conquered. That much I do remember. It has no actual meaningful difference as far as I can tell. We could trade with them before, and they sold the exact same thing. All they've done now is become an Egyptian icon. So that is all that I can think has changed since the crash. Oh well, I'll figure it out as we go along. The question is, what do you get the man who has everything? His own private fort. Alrighty, gradually working on getting the barley all set up here. This will allow us to get the workers we need. We've got a little bit of a... There we go. Using my standard trick where I have, I split the barley between a number of different yards, and then, so it's 3/4 beer, 1/4 barley, and then I just need to actually bring in enough barley to cover all of those yards. You can see here I've completely removed the military aspect. We haven't had any calls for military just yet. We've maxed out our military, and we have here 32 chariots that I will eventually be able to use for the funerary offerings. So we're doing pretty well with that. I will need more weapons in the future. That's something worthwhile thinking about. But we're doing pretty well here. I've got pretty much everything I'm going to need for at least leveling my houses up in the short term. As you can see here, they're going to move into papyrus, will be the next thing they're going to need. Once, of course, the beer manages to flow all the way through. Oh, there you go. It's been a long time since anyone's actually requested any goods, but pottery, I mean, we got so much of it. I may actually not have spoken about this. I've set up a little pottery area down here. This is essentially the core major manufacturing area. Up here is getting a little bit cluttered, and I may, once the bricks are all done, I'll probably clean this area up and begin working on linen or papyrus or something else that I need in the near future, because it's all going to have to be imported via dock. And there we go, Mausoleum is completely done. These other two as well are basically the bottleneck is how much limestone we can actually get in. You can see the boats have just dropped off 12 of them, 4 of them, it was actually more than 4. Either way, they've dropped off a bunch that's going up here being loaded up, and the rest are still in storage. So that really is the bottleneck at the moment. We are pretty much waiting for limestone. You can see here, as soon as a new layer is ready, the bricks are put in place and the limestone gradually makes its way up there. Yeah, I think it's about time. Once these are finally done, well, now that that's done, I reckon I can finish gutting this area down here. I do need the employees. We are well and truly, we're nearly 300 short, which is massive. So I've been in the process of just gutting this area down here. I'm going to keep... What am I going to do? I'm going to keep at least 2, 3 different areas, I reckon. That should be more than enough for any limestone requests in the distant future. Excellent, there we go. I'm just going to leave these guys here. They can turn perhaps into a culture dump later on. That can be a little culture village over there. Down here, of course, I've been moving pottery and beer through all the housing blocks. So these guys are now pretty much everyone's ready to level up with papyrus, which will be our next step, wherever papyrus comes from. I haven't got beer over here, but I am making pottery locally. And I don't think I will ever actually set this up any further unless prosperity turns out to be a big problem. But you know what? I don't actually think that's going to be an issue. Once we do... Oh, kingdom's at 100. Once we get the prosperity up with some villas, we are going to need to go villas to get to 70. And it'll probably be built... where am I going to put villas? That is the question. Might actually put them down here. I reckon I can move everything in and have more than sufficient space to have a little villa block nicely tucked in here. But either way, I reckon with villas and with papyrus put through these areas, that should be more than sufficient to get our prosperity level to where we require. Okay, there we go. The first brick pyramid here is all done. This one again still plodding along, slowly waiting for shit tons of limestone to come in. We're pretty much limited. There's a fair amount there though. That's pretty good. Should build up quite quickly from here on out. But this brick pyramid is done. That mausoleum is done, and thankfully hasn't actually glitched out just yet. And watching these guys, I've been watching these guys for about 3 or 4 years now. They're just running up and down between that storage yard and this bottom storage yard down here, while the granaries have remained empty. I've thrown in a new storage yard here, and I did block these ones off briefly in the effort that, or in the hope that they would fill up the granaries instead. But just, there you go, finally they're going to that one there. They do prioritise storage yards first, so it's just been funny watching them sort of do the Benny Hill theme, up and down, chasing each other for quite a while now. But I've got a hell of a lot of food that's backed up, and now that everything has been 43% fertile, yeah, it's not that good. But now that everything's been connected, we have shit tons of food in the city, and let's have a quick look here. Not you, 800, 600, 800, 800. So we got shit tons of food here. Okay, at this point I am pretty much about to move into papyrus, and I've decided to just import it to direct. I got so much cash coming in. Have a quick peek here. I made 5 grand last year, just in, you know, that's despite construction costs and everything. So money is pouring in. It's really no object at this point. So I figured just importing the papyrus direct. We don't tend to use a huge amount of it for scribal schools. So I'll throw a couple of those down, and that will allow us to level these areas up into pretty much the final form that we're going to take. You, for some reason, do not like to get figs, or perhaps we're using figs very quickly. No idea. Either way, we should be able to have 2 types of food flow through here, which will bring us up to, yeah, there we go, to to spacious residences. And of course we're going to need a little bit of linen before we can get up to the, I think fancy residence is the highest level that we will get to. So linen is what we'll be working on next. Down here, of course, I've got another yard. This one here should be getting, there you go, on his way back. So it's quite a long way up, a long convoluted way. I have thrown in this little housing block here in an effort to address our worker shortage, which is pretty consistent right now. And with 800, we need another 2,000 people. So I think one more housing block should do that. Although I think I will work on a noble block in the near future. I don't know, I've mentioned it a few times now, but I'm definitely thinking nobles are the way to go. I have been assured by Super Sajuk that it is possible to actually get up to 70 just using fancy residences. But considering the fact that the people over here are never going to progress beyond spacious homestead, I'm not even going to bother putting beer over here, then I think I will need the nobles just to bring things up above 70. But we're ticking over quite well, we're ticking over quite gradually. Barley is a bit of a problem. I may need to consider actually bringing in beer imports as well in the near future. Alrighty, we've got ourselves up to elegant residences now. I found a little bit of a flaw in my plan. I don't think I've left enough space in here for 2 temple types to actually adequately serve this area. So we have elegant residence and they have a single god. I could throw another one in here, but I may struggle for mortuary access later. So I'll need the mortuaries for, what do you call them, for culture and whatnot. I suppose I could always knock out a house at a later date. So we've currently got Ra. How about we throw in a temple to, let's go Osiris. I'm in an Osiris mood today. And actually you guys can have a different one. You can go to, let's go Set, God of War. It's because Egypt has been on the warpath lately. So that will allow us to hopefully go up to, they're going to struggle for a bit, but I can move those potters later. But this will allow us to get up to, I believe, fancy residences somewhere. There we go, fancy residence, finally. Now that is the highest we can go to. We'll absolutely want to make sure, where's the bazaar? There we are. Absolutely want to make sure that we do not put any luxury goods in here. That will absolutely tank my unemployment, or my employment level, and destroy the city. So make sure they don't somehow, which they won't, but if I start building them on this side, they don't somehow get their hands on it. And there we go, the final brick pyramid is all well and done. I realised I had actually gardened off part of the entrance and the mausoleum was blocking the other part. But with that, we have completely finished all the monuments. All we need to do now is just a tiny, teeny little bit of, block you off there. Tiny, teeny little bit of, what do you call it? Grave goods, these things over here. I've got those all well and truly prepared in advance. And you can see that my luxury goods is probably high. You probably won't notice it. I do notice it because I've set this one little up here. So with that, luxury goods are being funneled over to this yard here, repurposing the old sandstone mines. And with that, we're basically leveling these guys up. We've currently, oh, there you go. Now we need a courthouse. And we're going to be having ourselves some beautiful and noble quarters very, very shortly. I am struggling with the 2 food types. For some reason, game meat is a bit of a struggle. I don't know exactly why it is. There should be more than enough game meat around, but it seems that people tend to focus on the game meat. I don't know exactly why that happens. So just make sure, yeah, we're going to not accept any game meat. I'm going to try to stop who I'm feeding on game meat and just leave it to these 2 guys up here, because for some reason they seem to be preferentially eating it. I don't know exactly why that's happening. Okay, with that, our little noble manor area is all set up. It's not spectacular. It's got a small bit of, undesirable access. For some reason, this library, I have rebuilt it, so it has no papyrus now. It was right on the corner here, and for some reason was not leveling these guys up. Not a major concern, although the lack of papyrus. I know we've got papyrus in there. There's no major concerns here, but a bit of a struggle, I think. Welcome back to Baki. Yes, so we've been working on this one for a little while now. Not too bad. The city is actually in reasonably good shape. It's a little bit all over the place. We've got stuff all down here as well. People flying everywhere. And for some reason our papyrus is a little bit average. We're losing access up here. And these guys never had it. But there's a few bits where papyrus is struggling. And that really is due to the fact that we are importing it all. I think I would have to... Oh, look at that. Stately manners. How the hell did that happen? Looks like the papyrus finally began flowing around here. Either way, we are basically done. All I need now is to send off the monument stuff. So I've got the population, I've got the culture, prosperity is at 100 of course, and kingdom ratings also at 100, which I think is a first for this playthrough. I don't recall it ever being quite that high before. Over here, this is my little culture dump here. We got enough jugglers to entertain the people. This is where we train everybody before we send them off through the city, apparently. I think it's a very unsightly, ugly thing, and I've tried to keep it out of the way, but what can you do? It's part of the game engine. Over here we have our little industrial area. It was originally our quarry for sandstone, but we did manage to find some gems here, and we're making luxury goods for this side of the river. Here, of course, our linen manufactory and our beautiful monuments right here in the center, built into what is, quite frankly, the nicest part of the city. These guys down here, yeah, they live the lap of luxury, but they're off in the middle of nowhere. This is where all the action is up here. Our little housing blocks stuck up there. Looks like they're eating their papyrus again. Finally. Excellent stuff. Beer processing, pretty much all we need for the city. We do get all our barley coming in here, but it seems that we are really outstripping things. Things are sort of borderline at the moment. I would need to actually import beer to maintain my current rate. Over here is where all the money is made. This is the money income source for the entire city. We've got copper being sold, weapons for storage. If I could tap this game meat, there's a lot of beautiful stuff here. If I could tap it and bring it over to the city, I think we'd be in a much better position. But as soon as I connect these two things up, the hunters just go haywire. And these guys here start hunting stuff all the way down there, and these guys travel across the river to hunt those guys, and stuff just goes everywhere. It's an absolute nightmare. So I do have to keep them completely segregated, which again, not hugely realistic, but I got to work with what I've got. Now, of course, I think that's pretty much the overlook of the city. The little housing blocks everywhere, the big farming down here, and of course our wonderful, wonderful gold income, which is amounting to about 9,000 per year. It's not too bad. It's a pretty good, solid gold source there. So with that, I think it's time to actually win Baki. We're going to send off all the weapons we've got. We're going to send off all this massive amount of pottery we've been stockpiling. Linen, of course, is doing very nicely. Luxury goods we have coming out of our ears. And chariots, I stored a couple up before decommissioning that industry. So with that, as far as I can tell, we just need to wait for the monument thing to tick over and recognize that I have done everything. And so then we can go onwards to victory.
Most peaceful Pharaoh, your calming influence has brought Egypt to the brink of new greatness.
I don't know about calm, I'm a very passionate person at times, but we have beaten Baki. That is the second last mission for the peaceful path. So with that, we're going to be heading into, what's it called? Hetep something or other. I can't pronounce it. I've only ever seen it written down, and I've never ever been this far before. I am absolutely ecstatic to be here. So join me next time as we head into, I believe, Rawati, which I've already recorded, and then Hetep, the final peaceful mission after that. Take care. I'll see you then.